Hello everyone and welcome to the OllywoodKnits podcast. I am Hilary Oliver and I'm coming to you from the Greater Toronto area. This is a podcast all about knitting, crochet, and a new craft in the fiber art sector that I am very excited to tell you all about. I have been gone for a month and that is due to various things, not limited to a wedding that is yet to happen, by the way, but lots of events. Every single weekend is booked up. I have not zero free time, but limited time, that's for sure. And the free time I do have, I just want to veg out and knit or do this new craft that I discovered that I love a lot. But yes, I have also been sick with COVID since my last video. And it's been an overwhelming season, to put it mildly, but we're almost there. I'm only 20 days away from the wedding, so close. And then I can relax and delve into all of the things that I really, really want to focus my time on. So I am wearing my only finished object. This is my finished Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit. I use Malabrigo sock in Sandbank, shocker, and I used the Drops brushed alpaca silk in Sage. I love this sweater. I think this is probably my favorite knit I've ever made. I did 3/4 length sleeves and I don't know if you can really see I have not blocked this yet. Shame on me. I've just been so lazy, but I love it. I wore it to a fiber festival today, which was amazing. It was the first one of the year. I made a few purchases after a week that's heavy in purchases, but yeah. We'll get into that. I don't have much to say about this sweater. I did do different raglan increases than the pattern suggests. I just wanted to be a little bit more classy, I guess. Not that it isn't classy, like raglan increases are classy. They're cute, they're adorable, they're great. I just wanted something a little bit extra, you know? I just felt like it. So super quick knit, very relaxing, very simple. I see more of these in my future. So I'm sorry I don't have really much else to say about this one. Other than that, I really enjoyed making it and it's cute. And unfortunately, I only really have a few more days to wear this thing before, I'm gonna have to wash it. I'm gonna wash it and block it and store it, and then when the fall rolls around, I'll whip it out and wear it again. My only whip is the Striation Scarf by Amba O'Brien, and I purchased this yarn, I think I talked about it last time, from Magpie Fibers. This is Dream Beaver, Bougie Beaver. And this yarn here is a Merino cashmere nylon in dirty pink salmon or very dirty salmon from Color of My Fiber. All beautiful, soft yarn. It's quite long. I mean, I'm getting there. Like, it's quite a long shawl already, shawl/scarf. It's so pretty. I'm gonna switch from this color here, very dirty salmon, into this color here, and it's just going to be stunning. This color here I just picked up today, the Fiber Festival. It's by Pine and Purl. And I think this is one of their colorways that they don't repeat. It's kind of just like a, throw all of the leftover dyes into a pot and see what you get. And you get this. And it's beautiful. I'm really glad I found this because I was getting towards the last color change and I didn't have a color to match, and I had purchased another MCN from Color by Fiber, which in photos looked like it was just a shade darker. Like it looks like this basically, but it was very, very dark. Gorgeous yarn. I'm going to use it in some other project soon. I'm sure of it. I am fine. It's MCN. It's stunning and soft and beautiful, but it just wasn't for this project. And so I was kind of demotivated to knit it because I just didn't know where it was going. I didn't know what my finished object would look like. And I mean, this is just garter with a double decrease in the center. So it really isn't, you know, like it's not terribly boring, but it is quite boring. I will say that. It does go on for quite a long time, but the finished object is going to be stunning and I just cannot wait. Like, gosh, I just can't wait. So I'm gonna wind this up today because I can see myself. I did some knitting on it last night and I can see myself finishing this up in the next couple weeks. Also, I'm using my, my stitch markers. They're so cute. Very cute. And I got these from Fox and Pine Stitches, which is funny because this Purl and Pine or something like that, it's a similar kind of name. They had these and I was very tempted to purchase them, but I have so many that I don't really need them. Although I think I found another purpose for them, which I will talk about soon. That is really exciting. So yes, and this is being housed in my Magpie Fibers Beav-a-Long bag. Very happy I got the bag. So I guess we're just gonna go right into acquisitions because I have a lot of them. A lot of them. Okay. Should I start with the biggest expense? Okay, let's just go in chronological order here. For several years now, I have been itching to start a new fiber craft, and I wasn't sure whether it was going to be, I knew it was going to be fiber, okay, but I didn't know what it was going to be, weaving, spinning, whatever. The thing about spinning is that it's very expensive to get into it. But the thing about weaving is it's also a little less expensive, but it's still expensive. You're going to be using your yarn, which, you know, you could use your scraps, so that's great. But at the end of the day, I made my decision based off of, you know, like watching other people do these crafts, and if they are having a good time and it looks enjoyable and meditative, then I'm probably going to want to jump in on that. Hence my first purchase. You probably know what this is. This is the Dreaming Robots EEW Nano spinning wheel. And let me tell you, I love it. This is not yarn coming out of this. This is like roving basically, but I do have some yarn on the bobbin. It's not beautiful. It's not perfect, but I mean, I haven't really spun on this in the past week. I bought this 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, like yesterday. And I barely used it this week. Not at any fault of its own. Like, this is a beautiful spinning wheel. It is very affordable. It's like $125, $150 when you include tax and shipping. Like, not expensive. I've got a portable battery, so I can take it with me anywhere. I will link everything below, but I had custom 3D printed bobbins made, which I will show. Another full bobbin, which actually has some really nice yarn. I was very consistent that time. Proud of myself. And these bobbins are just, they're so pretty. I had them custom made. I will link that below for anyone who has one of these, even if you have the 6.0. This seller on Etsy does make them for both wheels. So I am very, very happy with this wheel. I learned to spin on this wheel and I'm not mad about it. So that was my first purchase in relation to spinning. I wanted a wheel. Like I did want a treadle wheel, but I wanted to get into the craft in a cheaper way that I can actually learn to draft, learn how to actually spin the yarn, and you know, then I could go try wheels in person, sit down at them, figure out if I want treadle or double treadle, single treadle, double treadle, whatever I wanted, that would work for me and my body and feel good, because at the end of the day, I really want all of my crafts to be meditative and self-healing and expressive and addictive. I want to do the thing. I don't want to have to make myself do the thing. So I bought a wheel without ever trying it. Which is, you know what, a lot of people do. They buy like the Ashford Kiwi 3 or the Lendrum or whatever they buy, and you know, they purchase it without ever trying it. And so like, it's a very normal thing to do. So I was like, you know what, we have the wedding coming up and we have all these expenses coming up. Like, I already had a wedding gift. Like, I don't really need, like, I shouldn't really be taking from our savings to buy this thing. So what I ended up doing was taking all of the, not junk, but just the things I had from my 20s that I didn't really use. Like, I had so many pairs of Ray-Bans and iPads and Kindles and things that I wasn't using anymore. I had the latest Kindle, so why would I have the other 3? So I ended up selling all of these things and making more than enough to buy myself a wheel in a week. And at the end of the week, I ended up finding the perfect wheel for me. And it was secondhand, mint condition, well cared for, and a great little wheel for a newbie like me. So let me introduce you to my Majacraft Little Gem. Here is my spinning wheel. Here she is. Here she is. There she is. She's so pretty. And look at the yarn I'm getting on her. Like, look at that. I did that. I did this. So I will insert some clips of me spinning on my wheel, and yeah, I really hope I can get more into spinning content and whatever that entails. There isn't a lot of it on here on YouTube, so I wouldn't mind there being more of it. So yeah, I am super excited about it. I love this wheel so much. I was very nervous. I had to travel over 2 hours to go get it. I took the day off work. I traveled by myself to go get this wheel, and then luckily there was a store nearby that had all the Majacraft accessories I could need. So I got a couple more bobbins and some wool to come home and practice spinning on, and you know, drove all the way home and began to spin, and I was like, what if I hate this? And it did take a while to get used to, but I think learning on my Nano first really served me there, because my hands knew what to do. You know, I wasn't figuring out both things. I'm not an expert with my hands. My yarn isn't absolutely perfect, but it is fairly consistent, and I am fairly, you know, maybe not robotic yet, but I do have some muscle memory built up from practicing for an hour every day. So because of that, I was able to really quickly catch on to the treadling and the spinning at the same time, and I got more consistent yarn on my treadle wheel than I do on my Nano. And I think that's because when I turn the Nano off to stop the bobbin from spinning, I have to take a hand off what I'm doing here to do that. And oftentimes when I do that on the Nano, on the electric wheel, the twist ends up getting into my drafting area, which takes way too many fibers, and then I get a little chunk area, which isn't great. Once there's twist, even when you have a long stable length, even just one twist is enough to keep that really strong. Like, you're not gonna be able to pull it apart anymore. So on my wheel, on my treadle wheel, when my feet stop, the bobbin stops right away. And I don't have to worry about taking my hands off of anything. So I get very beautiful, very consistent yarn out of this thing. So I cannot wait. I'm taking a class at the School of Sweet Georgia. And so far I've gotten through the hour-long class on drafting and spinning on your wheel and all of that. So the next class is plying, which, you know, you have to go through the week and get your 2 bobbins, which I am almost through. I think I have like maybe 30-40 grams of yarn to spin up, which I can do this afternoon, and then I'm gonna ply. So hopefully the next time I am here, I will have a skein of 2-ply yarn to show you that I did on my little gem. I guess I should show you my first skein of hand spun, should I not? Let's do that. So this here is my first skein of hand spun. She is, I mean, she's not terrible, not great. Like I got some like almost roving areas here, and then I've got like curly cues, and but I mean, I got some really nice areas too though. So, you know, it's not terrible. It's okay. I'm very proud of it, okay? This was done on my e-spinner, by the way, on the Nano. So I don't know what my first single ply yarn is gonna look like off my wheel. I don't know if I am gonna save a skein. These are 2. I'm not sure I am gonna save a skein from my Majacraft Little Gem and single ply. I think the first hank I take from my my treadle wheel is going to be a 2-ply yarn, essentially. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I am loving this craft so much that when I go to work and I have breaks, I'm on Instagram, I'm watching people spin because I love watching it. It's just such a therapeutic, treat yourself kind of moment when you're spinning. And I want to be doing it all the time. That's basically it. I want to spin. I would love to get to the point where I'm so good at spinning yarn that I could be like, oh, I want to knit this pattern and I need this weight of yarn and I want to do it with these different colors. So I'm going to, you know, ply my singles and, you know, ply them together. And anyway, I would love to get to that point. At this point, I don't know if I have too much control yet over weight of yarn in the end, but I'm learning and I'm really excited about it. So much so that I learned not only one way to spin, not 2 ways to spin, but 3 ways to spin yarn. Maybe 2-3 years ago, I picked up a Russian support spindle. Underneath this cop, this is called a cop, C-O-P, is just this. And it sits in this little bowl and you spin it and you get yarn. And when you get yarn, you then wrap it around your spindle. It is probably one of the oldest, I think, methods of spinning yarn that we know of today. And I saw a lady on Instagram make a reel of a video, well, I don't know if it was a reel, I think it was just a video of herself spinning on something very similar to this. In a bowl, probably not as bowl-like as this one. And I remember just like thinking like, wow, like that is incredible. That looks amazing. Like I would love to spin like that. I would love to. It looks like magic. It looks like she has a Harry Potter wand and it's just spinning in her hand as she's drafting out, and it literally looks like magic. It looks like magic. So I'm so obsessed with this video. The fact that she can put this in her purse and take it with her anywhere and spin these up and then ply them on her, she has many wheels. Then she can ply them onto her wheels and have a beautiful finished yarn. I was so obsessed with this video. I watched it so many times and I thought, I have a support spindle, so I'm gonna go home and try my hand at this. So I spent a whole entire Sunday trying to do this. The hardest thing I've ever taught myself in my life, ever. So difficult. Then, so by the end of Sunday night, I spent all day trying, like the whole day. By the next day, so Monday, I was pretty dismayed. I had looked on Etsy at other spindles. I was so excited. I researched all the different kinds of spindles. This is a Russian spindle, which isn't the easiest to learn on, and you probably shouldn't learn on a Russian. It's what I had. So it's what I used. which is totally fine. A Tibetan style, I think, is what they recommend. A bottom whorl Tibetan style is the best way to learn, apparently, because it has a longer spin duration. It's easier to get it going. This has a very short spin duration. It's very light, but that was fine for me because right now I spin and then I park and draft, which, you know, is fine for me. So I just spin and then I stop it and then I draft and then I spin and then I just let it go and let all that spin build up in all the yarn, and then I check it to see what my 2-ply is going to look like, the same way you would on a spinning wheel. And if I like the consistency, if it's staying consistent every time I check, then I wind it onto my cup and I draft out more, and that's great for me. I would love to get to the point where I can spin it and then use my fingers here as it's spinning to draft, which I will. I did order a couple of spindles. Once I got it and I knew I got it, and every night I tried more and I got better at it to the point where now I feel pretty confident. Like I can keep, before I was spinning it and then I have to move my hand away because if my hand touched it, it wasn't going to spin anymore. If anything touched it, it wasn't going to spin anymore. Now I can get to the point where I can spin it and hold it in my hand just fine. So it gets harder to spin when you build up a cup. It's not as easy to spin anymore as it is when it's empty or just not as much yarn built up on it. But yeah, I fell in love with this way, which is the cheapest, most accessible way to get into spinning. And I tried it last. Tyler was like, you spent $1,000 on a wheel and then you could spend $30 and learned. And I was like, but they're different ways of spinning. This is a very different experience to my spinning wheel. And I love both. I absolutely love both. I just love that this is so portable. My wheel also folds and breaks down and folds and goes in a bag, and I can take that with me anywhere as well. It's just more of a process, an experience getting it set up and spinning. Whereas this, I can just pull it out of my bag, use for like 2 seconds, and then I can put it back away again and walk away. It's that easy. It's easier, more portable than knitting. Like knitting, I'm like, oh, I gotta finish my row before I can put this back in my purse. I don't have to do that with this. I can just literally put it back in my purse. I just gotta be careful not to break it. These things are very delicate, so you have to be careful about that. But I love this so much that I was like, you know what? Most support spindle spinners have multiple because I can't really take this off until I'm ready to ply it, but I need the equal amount of something else to ply it with. So I need another spindle. They're like bobbins, you need multiple. And then I'll ply them together on my wheel. So there was a fiber festival today. My main goal at this festival was a few more roll legs for support spindle spinning, and maybe a new bowl, which I got. So this bowl will sit in my lap and I can spin my spindle in it. Wonderful, great, happy I found it. I also found the only support spindle for sale at this festival, which is right here. It is beautiful. My favorite color is green, so love it. I already cast on. I got home like an hour ago and I already cast on my next roll leg, which I will be plying with the purple stuff you just saw. This spindle is a Tibetan style spindle, or a bottom whorl style spindle, I guess. It has very flat bottoms, so this, when it spins, it needs to be spun like standing up. But because it is, because this is heavier than a Russian style spindle, it will spin for a very long time. It spins for like 30 seconds, which my other one spins for like 10. So wonderful, gorgeous. I love it. I've already been spinning on it, as you can see. The addiction is real. But I did notice a crack in the shaft, which is kind of disappointing. It was the only one for sale. I did not know it had a crack in it until I got home and started spinning with it. So I did message the owner of the shop, which I will not mention names until this is resolved, and then I will. I'm not looking for a new spindle. I'm not looking for a refund. I'm not looking for anything other than, how do I fix it? I really love this spindle. I'm having so much fun with it, but this crack is a serious crack and I can see it's on both sides of it. So that is deeply concerning and so disappointing, because I cannot tell you, like, I was so excited all week long to find a support spindle at this festival, It was the one thing I was going for. I wanted one so bad, just like this. Ended up finding the perfect spindle and bowl, only to come home and find out it's actually cracked. And it looks like it was repaired. It looks like it might have been repaired, and it just wasn't enough to keep it from drying out and cracking more. So I'm really hoping that he can help me out, tell me what to do to fix it, to fill it in, to strengthen it. Because I understand that this happens with wood, and you know, if he can give me some pointers and tips on how to treat this and how to fix it, so you know, I know for future for my other support spindles. So we will see. I'm really hoping that that can be resolved, because I was so excited. Like, this made my week, this spindle, and that just kind of really bummed me out. I got a pin as well from the Pine and Purl store, which is where I got that skein of yarn. Make magic, it says. Look how cute it is. Look how cute. I'm really excited about this. I have no idea where I'm gonna put it, but I'm excited about it. Obviously excited about this, but a little bit sad, a little bit sad. I made some purchases when I was out today from a friend of mine. I'm gonna call her a friend. She gave me her number and we text a lot about spinning. So I got some roll legs from her, from Carol. The Tools for You. She's on Etsy. I'll have her linked below. So I got these roll legs. And I also got the blue roll legs that I am spinning with now. And then I got a bunch of other ones from Suricata Crafts. Like, look at that gorgeous green. I ended up loving that one so much that I bought 2 of them, which I might just spin together. And then I got this gorgeous purple, dark eggplant type of purple. And I got this really fun one. Look at that. Oh. So these are all for my support spindles. So it takes me about a week. No, not a week. It takes me about, I want to say, 4 days to get through 25 grams on my support spindle. So probably takes me one sitting on my e-wheel or on my treadle wheel to get through like 30 grams of fiber. So it's a slower craft, but it's really more about the experience than anything else. That I'm just loving it so much. I can sit back on the couch, watch whatever show or listen to whatever book I want to do, whatever I want to do. I can even just sit there in quiet and peace and just do it. I love it. I can go down to the beach and do this. I can go to the forest and do this. I can go hang out with family on the patio and do this. Like, I love it. I mean, I can also do all those things with my Nano as well, because it has a portable battery, which I do for, maybe not the beach. I don't want sand in that, but yeah, I am just loving spinning, and I hope that next time I come on here, I have a finished 2-ply yarn to show you. Maybe even one from my treadle wheel and one from my support spindle. If, you know, if I'm that productive this week. I have my wedding shower tomorrow, and next weekend's my bachelorette, and then the weekend after that is the May 2-4 weekend, which I will be getting my hair done and celebrating my mom for Mother's Day, and then the weekend after is my wedding. And it's gonna be a very, very, very busy month, but all good things, all great things. And yeah, I'm going to keep spinning away and getting as much done as possible, because I am so excited to learn to ply. I'm really excited to learn to ply, and maybe I'll do that later today. I've got a little bit left. I've got about 40 to 50 grams of fiber left to practice spinning on my little gem here, and then I can ply. So yeah, thank you for sticking around and listening to me blab on about my new hobby. Yeah, I hope you have yourselves a great week. Please let me know what you're knitting down below. And, you know, if you're into any summer knits, let me know some patterns. I am very interested in some t-shirts this year. I am going to try the dappled lace raglan tee. That might be my next cast on with some Trubu, going back to my commercial yarns for one project. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are a spinner, leave me some tips and tricks down below. I would love to hear them. I am in need of hearing them. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and please consider giving me a like and a thumbs up and, you know, all those things, and subscribe and just all of that YouTube-y stuff. I'm clearly rusty. It's been a while, okay? Bear with me. You don't have to bear with me anymore. I'm actually checking out. But bye!